Okay, now that you have your patterns cut out, you see I have my front and my back, and I'm going to lay them on my fabric. Remember, we have put our pretty sides together. We have the fold over here, and we have our what's called the selvage over here, basically just where the fabric was done being made is on that side. What we're going to do is we're going to lay our patterns down. A couple things you want to remember. You have, this is going to be the top, like this is going to be your waistband, and this is where your leg goes through. So you want to make sure when you lay your patterns down, first of all, that it's on the fabric, and second of all, that it goes the top where your waistband is to the leg for both of them. Otherwise, you could end up having your pattern going the right way down one leg and then upside down in the other. So that's really important. The other thing is you want to make sure you can read the words. Like I can read that this is back. If I turn this around, it would say cab, and that's the wrong way. So just make sure it's the correct way on there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your tape measure, and you're going to measure from what's called the grain line over to the selvage. Now the grain line is just going to help make sure that the fabric is going nice up and down so it fits you good, because again, you don't want to have your butterflies going at a weird angle down your leg. So I'm going to measure from my grain line over to my selvage, and I have the number 10. I'm going to put a pin in right here to hold that in place, and then I'm going to go down here to make sure this one is also 10. Now this one is a little off, it's about 9.5, so I can kind of move my fabric over so I get it at a 10, and same thing, I'll put another pin in to hold it in place. Now your number can be anything as long as the numbers from here and here and here to here are the same. Then you go down to the next one and do the same thing. You're going to measure from the grain line over to the selvage, and let's see, so a little bit. This one I'm going to get 10 as well. So I'm going to measure, I'm going to put a pin in and do the same as the bottom. So the bottom should also be 10. And if you get 10.5 for both or 9.5, that's fine, as long as they're the same number. Okay, so now once you pin those in, you're going to pin around your pattern. And you want to make sure you get the corners. When you pin, you go down. I use my index finger and I bring it back up. If you just leave it under, you'll stab your finger. So I go do the corners, and then I'll go back and pin in between. You want to make sure it's pinned down really good, because you're going to cut, which is probably one of the most important steps before you sew. If you don't cut your pattern out good, you could have some serious issues when you're sewing if you cut really choppy. So I'll just put a couple in between. When you're all done, you're going to ask me if it looks good. I'll just check to make sure it's laid out correctly and you're on your fabric. Also notice that I laid mine up higher. Now I have this extra chunk down here I can sew something else with. When you're all done and I say, yep, you can cut yours out, you're going to take a shears and you're going to make long, even cuts with your shears. Okay, you want to be very careful that you're not chopping when you're cutting. So nice, long, even cuts, just like that. And then when you're done cutting, wait for the next set of directions.